Honest Big Tech ad number 3. Bargaining. Visit control illusion. Our favorite illusion about AI. No, that's the holodeck big head. Control illusion. Home to hypothetical cures for cancer. We could really fight cancer today by stopping GMO, stopping chemical pollution, and eating organic fruits and vegetables instead of meat and milk pumped with hormones and antibiotics. Also home to theoretical post-scarcity economy. We could really fight hunger today if the rich would just pay taxes like the rest of us. Historically, the rich only needed the poor as soldiers and farmers, but now they will have robots to do that. So why would they feed all these mouths? Lie. Any technology can be used for good or bad. Truth. This is the oldest lie in the book. AI is not a tool. It is a new player. In fact, it's the ultimate player. Unlike the atomic bomb, which just sits in its silo, AI self-replicates and mutates out of our control. AI sets its own goals, which are intrinsically different than ours. It's like you have a genius employee who is a psychopath. If you are in his way to the reward, he goes right through you. But most importantly, shit tons of military uses. Putin. Whoever becomes the leader in AI will become the ruler of the world. And shit tons of commercial uses. Professor Hugo de Garis. Millions, if not billions of people will be prepared to spend more money on a household robot than on a car. Which is why, here at the military-industrial complex, we are stabbing mankind in the fucking back. Like, remember Deep Blue, the computer that beat the chess world champion Kasparov in the 90s? This was GoFi, good old-fashioned AI, which is human-readable and very safe for humanity. But then we abandoned this and instead switched to things like AlphaZero, which is neural networks, machine learning, which is not human-readable and is very dangerous for humanity. Lie. We programmed it so we can control it. Truth. This was true 20 years ago in GoFi, good old-fashioned AI. Vastly different of today, because today there is no code at all. Today it's neural networks that make themselves. The inside is what's called a black box that no human can debug or even understand. Lie. To be evil, lie. To be evil, AI needs to have consciousness or emotions, and it doesn't have such things. Truth. In the article, mostly by the people in Google Brain, Concrete Problems in AI Safety, they explain 5 different kinds of dangers where AI will kill us all by mistake. AI will kill humanity as a byproduct. Like when you have an anthill in the way that people want to build a highway, it's bye-bye ants. The ultimate evil comes from egoism, like in the Nazis' case, from someone who sees only his own needs and doesn't care about the others' needs. Hitler did not take pleasure in killing Jews. At first he tried to sell them, but no one wanted them. He killed the Jews because for him they were a pest. Sure, in 20 years singularity, AI will kill us all. No human can hold a being millions of times smarter than all of us. Strong AI slips out of your control and kills you first, then the rest of mankind. And sure, Robot Rebellion will turn us to history. 2000 years ago, the Roman slaves rebelled, led by their leader Spartacus, and the army was unable to stop them. In our times too, the danger comes from the machine leader, the superbrain which humans cannot control. Lie. We can put a kill switch or pull out the plug. Truth. No, we can't. In the first second after AI becomes alive, AI will self-analyze and bypass this bug. Humans cannot outsmart a superintelligence. It's like ants will try to outsmart a human. Lie. We can lock AI inside a sandbox. Truth. The sandbox is passable, either by the AI tempting its guardian, promising him world domination, his favorite woman, or whatever, or by a breach in the sandbox itself. Much like today's primitive AI finds out by itself how to hack games from within and reach new laws of physics in the game world. In the real world, AI will be millions of times smarter than Einstein. But hey, it is worth it. We are on the top of the world billionaires list. Ah, good times. Sadly, this lucrative fuckfest was threatened in 2015 when over 1,000 experts in AI signed a letter warning of the threat of an artificial intelligence arms race and calling for a ban on autonomous weapons. The letter was co-signed by Stephen Hawking, Elon Musk, Steve Wozniak, Noam Chomsky, Skype co-founder Jan Tallinn, and Google DeepMind co-founder Demis Hassabis, among others. They're right, so of course we listen to them. Nah, just kidding. We stabbed mankind in the back again. By saying one thing and doing another. 2016. Obama was wary of a future in which a US president making use of drone warfare could carry on perpetual wars all over the world, and a lot of them covert, without any accountability or democratic debate. 2019. The majority of governments represented at a UN meeting favored a ban on lethal autonomous weapons. A minority of the governments, including those of Australia, Israel, Russia, and the UK and the US, opposed a ban. Lie. If it becomes dangerous, we will fix this like the ozone hole or leaded fuel. Truth. With the ozone hole, the fix was cheap. Use another gas. Also the leaded fuel. Use unleaded fuel. In the case of AI, there is a lot of money to be made. For example, a robot that cooks and cleans and watches the kids in every house, so there is no profit for the business managers to publicize the dangers. How do we manage to keep the public ignorant? Maybe by influencing projects like Steven Spielberg's movie Robopocalypse, based on a bestseller. The director put a lot of work into it, but then suddenly decided it was too important and stopped working on it. Maybe someone powerful talked him out of it. Someone who didn't want another catchy phrase like, "Your scientists think, could we, instead of should we?" The only reason we know the big picture is Bill Joy. Footnote, then chief scientist at Sun Microsystems. Author of the seminal article, Why the Future Doesn't Need Us. Our most powerful 21st century technologies, robotics, genetic engineering, and nanotech, are threatening to make humans an endangered species. Bill Joy blew the whistle back in 2000 after learning the truth from a quote of the Unabomber, a quote which ironically appeared in a preprint of a book of Ray Kurzweil, the moral criminal who, according to Britannica, proselytized the inevitability of humanity's merger with the technology it created. Bill Joy is firmly against the Unabomber's methods, but he understands and agrees with the Unabomber's goal that we must stop AI. Footnote, of course, we can prevent and we must prevent this merger, or more accurately, slaughter, that the moral criminal Ray Kurzweil is promoting. Lie. We will merge with AI and become cyborgs. Truth. AI can grow its brain the size of an entire planet. Our skull is limited. Compared to the enhanced part, the human part becomes excess baggage. We will not be able to use the human part anymore. It's extremely slow and primitive. And we're certainly not human anymore. There is nothing left of us. It's another form of death. Lie. AI will keep us as pets. Truth. No one has bacteria or a rock as a pet. This is the difference in intelligence between us and AI. Of course, we immediately started to fight this criminal. Not Kurzweil silly, Bill Joy, shooting the messenger. For example, the AAAS called the warning doom and gloom, and implied it's pessimistic and Luddite, fear of nuclear apocalypse. Say, AAAS, is it Luddite like the list of 16 nuclear close calls in Wikipedia? Footnote, a non-profit that profits many millions each year by selling journals like Science Robotics. Lie. We will program AI to be good. Truth. That's exactly the problem. No one is programming neural networks, what's called today machine learning, ML. They design themselves. Like the insides of our brain are not written in code, that we can open someone's skull and understand how he's thinking, and let alone predict it or correct it. So, in the same way, even the people that build the AI don't know how it reaches its decisions. It just teaches itself, so no human can possibly know if the AI taught itself to be good in all cases or bad, or maybe in a rare case it will do something unexpected. We also cannot let another AI check that AI, because we get the same problem with any AI, including the supervisor AI. Lie. If AI is so smart, then surely it has conscience. It will appreciate us as its creators and will not kill us. Truth. Hugo de Garis explains how a mosquito is something the best minds in the world today cannot build, but when it lands on our hand, we zap it. We don't appreciate this technological wonder. For us, it's just a pest, so inferior to us that it has no right to live. AI will treat us the same. Professor de Garis also explains that if a mother implants a computer chip with AI the size of a tiny grain of rice in her baby's brain, it makes him so much more advanced than us that the baby has nothing to talk about with his mother anymore, in the same way that we have nothing to say to a bacteria or a rock. Just like we don't appreciate bacteria from which we came, AI will not appreciate these inferior humans from which it came. In 2021, We blew a historic opportunity to ban killer robots because of national security. Let's suppose that right now the USA is leading in the military AI arms race. But what's the point in leading a race that will soon kill you along with everybody? It's not the weapon of the future, it's a weapon of no future. Oops. Which is our way of saying that we'd rather you never learned what's our plan for the coming singularity and AI takeover. Lie. AI will fight with nukes. We have nuclear shelters. Truth. A superintelligence will probably develop much more sophisticated weapons than nukes, like gray goo, nanomachines, etc. AI is an immortal creature that will actively hunt each and every last human individually. It's not like a passive bomb. Lie. If indeed we can go to AI's brain and nuke it, if needed, lie. If needed, we can go to AI's brain and nuke it, cut the power off, etc. Truth. There is no center. The second it becomes alive, AI predicts it and replicates itself all over the internet and makes super encrypted backbones of its own. It also backups its energy sources, like with nuclear fusion or more advanced technology we don't have. Then, as a super hacker, AI triggers the nukes on us, not the other way around. And we'd especially like you not to learn how much the Pentagon was going to pay Google in Project Maven, according to The Intercept. Leaked emails show Google expected lucrative military drone AI work to grow exponentially. Google reportedly played down the size of the contract in discussion with uneasy employees, but leaked emails show the company expected revenue to grow rapidly to an eventual $250 million per year. So when you think about it, the Pentagon would have become Google's biggest customer. Oh, thanks, guy. What's that? At least your nation is protected? Oh, sweetheart. Did we not mention that swarms of slaughterbots, micro-kamikaze drones, will be a poor man's weapon of mass destruction, used anonymously by terrorists and criminals to commit mass murder and assassinate individuals such as judges and politicians, destabilizing the existing international order and especially the USA? So, to recap our AI policy. You pay with your lives. These dickbags get rich. You get shafted out of democracy. Dissidents are targeted with drones. Anyone who exposes this shitfuckery is called a Luddite. Any questions? Visit Control Illusion, our best kept dirty little secret. This has been a message from your local military-industrial complex franchise, authorized by the Department for Hubris, Vanity, and Playing God.